Hey, now that you're in quarantine, I bet you're getting a whole lot of creative work done that you weren't going to get done otherwise, right? Right? No, definitely not. So I've said it before, I'll say it again. I am a writer, but I am also a full time stay at home dad. I was a full time stay at home dad before the pandemic started. I'm even more now because my son was going to a Montessori school 5 days a week, which I didn't realize how much of a break that sort of gave me. Not really a break because you're still, taking care of a 1 year old, and that is by no means an easy feat. Um, but I had a break from two of them at once, which I don't really have now. Um, it's been hard to write ever since I've been a full time stay at home dad. And I was always blaming myself for not getting writing done even when I would get time off, when I would, my wife would sort of spell me for a bit and I'd go to a coffee shop, which I can't do now, or I'd go to the office, or I'd try to get some writing done. I couldn't do it. I'd get some writing done. I'd get a couple thousand words here, a couple thousand words there. But then I would just go and sit and I'd end up on YouTube, or I'd just go down some sort of rabbit hole on Twitter or something on the internet, or I'd just read a book or read some comic books because I didn't know why. And then I sort of figured it out. Um, and it's a simple fact that writing, serious writing, and when I say serious writing, I don't mean writing about serious subjects necessarily, just getting down to try to write a complete work, whether that's a short story, a play, a novel, whatever you're trying to write, but trying to actually buckle down and complete a work of writing is work. Strange. I know, but I didn't think of it that way. I didn't think of it in terms of work in the same way that I didn't think of acting in terms of work, which is why after college I would get acting gigs and I would work a 9 to 5 job, and then I would go and have rehearsals in the afternoons and the evenings, because it was work, but it was a work that I loved and I got a creative jolt out of. I was creatively satisfied by it in a way that I was not satisfied by my 9 to 5 job. Um, and so my brain was tweaked in such a way that I didn't think of it as work. But I'm starting to feel that, yeah, it is work. And I think part of that is because, and I've said it before, um, being a stay-at-home parent, being a parent, is the hardest thing I've ever done. And it is draining in a lot of fantastic ways, but it is exhausting, both physically and mentally and emotionally exhausting. And so when I get a break from it, and it's if I'm stay at home with my kids for 5 days and then I go out on a Saturday because my wife's watching the kids and I can go and do some writing, I don't want to work at that point. I want a break from work. And while writing is fun, and writing is to a certain extent, I mean, to a large extent, creatively satisfying, it's hard and it takes a lot out of you. And so I find that even before this, I was just not getting the amount of work, the amount of writing work done that I could have, or that I thought I should have been doing. And now it's even less. Today I wrote 60 words, which, to be fair, is better than the past 2 weeks, where I've written basically nothing. But in my current work in process, in my work in progress, I've written 60 words today on my phone, on my notes application, which is not nothing. So I shouldn't feel too bad about it. But, and I'm trying to not sort of kick myself while I'm down. I want to complete things, I want to write things, but right now I am working more than a 9 to 5 job, more than a 40-hour work week, more than a 60-hour work week. How many hours are in a week? I should be able to do that math, but 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for the most part. And that obviously, because even when your spouse is with you and when you're lucky enough to have a partner helping you raise kids, it's still hard. It's still not easy. It's still a lot and a lot of work. It doesn't just disappear because somebody else is there. You have to work really hard all the time. And as long as this is happening this way, as long as they're young and they need us, sort of our attention 24 hours a day, I feel like I'm not going to be getting a lot of writing done. I'm going to try. I'm going to try my best, but I think that the key is not to beat myself up over it. And hopefully you're not beating yourself up over it too. My friend and incredibly successful writer, and she's an incredibly successful mother, in my humble opinion, from watching her, Jadzia Axelrod, was telling me she had heard this from somewhere else, and there's a meme going around, or a poem going around, basically, it's like, this quarantine doesn't mean you have to write the next great novel. It doesn't mean you have to complete that project that you were working on. It doesn't mean you have to do all of these things, because this, on top of everything else, is an emotional situation. It is a anxious and anxiety inducing situation. And so don't give yourself additional anxiety because you're not completing something creative, or you're not doing the work that you think you should be doing. Just get through it at this point. If everyone's alive on the other end of it, and oh God, that was dark. But if everybody is together in your family and as healthy as can be reasonably expected on the other end of it, I think it matters less that you didn't finish that novel than anything else. But that's what I'm telling myself. Anyway, I think I'm going to do some more writing, though. I think I'm going to try to do some writing tomorrow. I am very good at having the first third of a writing project done. And so my computer is full of writing projects of a couple thousand words here and there. I think I'm going to finish some short stories. I'm going to go in. I'm still going to work on my work in progress, but I think smaller projects, smaller projects that I can conceivably finish in a relatively short amount of time, I think is my goal going forward. What are your goals? Are you trying to write during all this? Are you having any success? If you are, tell me how, because I'd like to know. Anyway, it is 6:54 West Coast time, March 28th. This is the Morse Code. I am Chris Morse, and I will see you tomorrow.